Hi guys. I haven't made a video in a while, so today we're gonna make one. I have been going through some shadow work, I guess, which it is Pluto and Jupiter are in retrograde, and that is a time that I've been learning does call in a lot of shadow work, and I just figured out that that's kind of what's been going on with me. But I'm also wanting to make an oil that helps to show me in those times of shadow what about self-love and calling in my goddesses, as well as tomorrow's the new moon, so there will be some of these properties. It may seem like that's a whole lot to ask for one oil, but we're going to try it out and see how that goes. If you've seen any of my videos before regarding oils, I use this little burner here, and you just saw me light it up. I've gone ahead before then and cleansed all of my work area and my tools with my house-made floral water. You can see that video also on my channel. And a while back, I found this beautiful bottle. There you are. This beautiful bottle on a good thrift haul, and I have not had the know what to put in it, so it's going in there today. Then I've also gathered up some little stone chips here, as well as we're going to put this in a base of fractionated coconut oil, which I've already got going in there. I've got approximately 2.5–3 ounces in there, so I'd like to make a fairly decent amount. And what we're going to start with to put in is some of these red sandalwood chips, and we'll stir those up. Get those going in there. This recipe is going to have a lot of stuff in it, so we're going to see how it works out, but sometimes it does. I'm going to start with a few of those red sandalwood chips. I always like to put in some of my dried things first so that they can have an opportunity to steep in the oil. Here's also some chamomile and lavender dried. Come out of there, guys. There's a few little chamomile flowers and some lavender. Then I'm also going to add a piece of dried ginger, because I want a little bit of ginger essence in here, but not too much. So there's a couple little pieces of chunky dried ginger. Today I was able to go and tend to my neighbor's bounty. He has an incredible herb collection over there, and he's out of town and asked me to go over and water it and prune some back. So I was able to collect today some fresh basil and sage from him. And these little flowers that we've got going in here. There's some dried jasmine. I do have some fresh jasmine, which is blooming in a big bounty around where I live in Florida. But I'm going to put a few dried ones in there right now. Since this is for me, this is filled with salt right now. It's going to be a repurposed roller ball. Since it's empty, I saved those, so, and then, test them out on myself first. So I've got some salt in there to clear up any other energies or anything that's happening in there from when it was made and all that. And so there's some little one. These are from our food forest. These, some of these more colorful things that you see. But since it's the time just past Beltane as well, I thought those would go nice in there. And so these are edible flowers. There's pansy, marigolds, there's some hibiscus, which are pretty. I may not use all these today, but we'll get some color for summertime, and add some of our flower essences in. So, and they're coming actually to life. It's quite beautiful. You can see that. I'm going to give this a little stir, because those red sandalwood chips are going to start to break down and add in its wood essence, our sandalwood. I'm not going to put actual sandalwood oil in here, but I do want some sandalwood essence in it. Look how great that is already. All right, so we got that cooking. And, you know, it's like, if it works for you, it works. But we're going to see. I do have kind of an idea of what method to the madness is here. And hopefully you'll be able to pick that up as we go along. Oh, these are great ones. Look at that. Let's put that in some of those beautiful petals in there. Yes, these all came from the food forest except the jasmine. So it does not look like goddess and love to you, it does to me. I'm getting there. So those are going to start to put the essences in, and now I'm going to adding in the essential oils that I've chosen for this. I always like rose. For some reason, it always attracts me. And so we're going to put in about 6 drops of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops of the rose. And violet. This violet's going to come out really fast, so I'm actually going to put a little bit on my spoon here and give that a whirl. And then after our violet, we've already got lavender in there, and so its essences are going to go in, but we're just going to put like one, come on, there we go, a little drop of actual lavender. We don't want to overpower that guy or girl, our goddess, as we're calling in actually today, asking for the goddess to come into our life and help us light up our path during these times of shadow work. Little cedar wood. We're going to put in 2 drops of cedar wood. There you go. I'm not a huge patchouli fan, and it can definitely take over, so just a couple drops of that. And jasmine, which we already have our dried jasmine in, and when it comes time for bottling, I'm going to put the fresh jasmine in there, but we'll give it 3. 1, 2, 3 went in there of the jasmine. And then I'm going to give it a stir, see how we're cooking here. Already smelling good. Myrrh. Out. There it is. It's on our spoon, so set that in there. Drop of the rosemary oil. And since we're calling in this energy to us, we're going to stir this always in a clockwise motion. And a little rosemary. Now it seems like the whole garden is going in here, but summer's abundant bounty calls for that. We don't want to kill it with rosemary since we're going to put fresh in there too. So just one of those. I have chamomile flowers already in, and some geranium. I like this too. So make sure to get that good in there. And we can always add however we're feeling at the time when it's coming together here. Just those flower essences and herbs are going to release into our oil. I usually find that a good 20 minutes really to make all of this and let it go. Really, we don't want to get it to boiling point, which you can do in these little burners. Now here's our lang lang, ylang ylang, 4 of those. And this is going to kill us too, so we don't want to do that too much. Quick basil. But I'm also going to add, one of my group members sent me some beautiful wild basil from Colorado, wild sweet basil. So I'm going to add a little pinch of that because she is a goddess and her love can go right on in there. From my friend Whispers of 3. So kind of all of our oils. Let's see how we're doing. not very heavy, which is nice. We don't want something that's overpowering. I'm going to add a little bit of this fresh rosemary. I just took this off the plant. Just took it off. A little bit of that in there. Nice green. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Beautiful jasmine. Look at those guys. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Fortunately, living here in Florida, I do get the opportunity to have a lot of herbs and flowers year round, or close to it anyway. Oh man, now we're cooking. It smells awesome. So this is gonna go, that's kind of it, I think. Oh no, we're gonna put our crystals in, which I have selected some rose quartz for healing and self-love, self-care. I have selected some amethyst, and also representing a goddess, some garnet. I'm gonna put a few pieces of those in. They're all gonna work together and create this magical blend just for me, and maybe for you if it works out. I'm gonna let that go. I'll pause here on the video and let this cool off a bit. See if I need to add a little bit of this more, a little bit of that more, and then once it cools down, I'll bring you back for the bottling. All right, we're back. So while you were gone, I felt that I had the right proportions, just not enough. So I kind of doubled everything, but since I already was adding it to the fractionated oil, I just doubled it up. And then I also felt like, in my intuitive sense, that it needed to get a little oomph. And so with that oomph, I added a few of my dragon's blood resin bits there, as well as I'm also going to add, because frankincense is one of the represents the goddess. Well, if I can get it off here, I have another little tin that has frankincense and myrrh, which we already had myrrh in there. Got the whole garden, I'm telling you. It is bountiful. Bountiful. So there's a little couple. I'm going to use the resin, which is a combined frankincense and myrrh resin. And I will write all this down below. I'll just give you the proportion, like I said, a couple, 2 drops or 3 drops or whatever, and then you can you can choose it. That's the kind of the proportion, and then add it to your oil. But I think that it's important that you have the oil going for a few minutes before you put all that stuff in it, all your other oils and your herbs and your resins and all that, because it needs to infuse. So I get that kind of warm first. But now we're in a continuous kind of stir, because it is cooking, and those resins are going to start to melt, but we want them to melt into the oil and not to the bottom of our burner. It's bound to happen anyway, but if you're stirring them up good, then they'll see how my spoon is skidding along. I love this spoon, isn't that cool? Thrift find, as well as a pretty bowl, other people's pottery. That's what I call it. Somebody's name is etched into the bottom of that thing. I keep saying guy today. I wonder what's up with that. I bought this beautiful Beltane beauty box from Kiwi's Curious Creations on Etsy. It's a friend of mine. And he also packaged with it this beautiful dried orange and lavender. And we do have some lavender in there, but I thought while we were on pause there that, like, I put my other friend's wild sweet basil in. Her love to me in there, then I should probably put a pinch of his lavender in there. Also love to me. They're great people. So set that down. That's just a pretty picture in and of itself. Yes, it is. So I love the way that these colors are just gorgeous, and you can tell that everything's infusing because it's starting. They're starting to get dark. Remember, earlier in the video, it was they're really bright, and so the oil is really seeping into those. And over the course of time, if you bottle, you can either strain or you can bottle with. And I like to bottle with because I like to have my flowers and energies and everything I put in there. I like it to keep on cooking the whole time it's in. And if this turns out really well, I'll end up with this on all over me like every day after I get out of the shower. Anoint me with it, calling in and asking for goddess to come and assist here, which I am really ready for. This shadow work part of life I knew was necessary, but I did not know what was going to happen. And something magical kind of happened on its very first night that I sat down with my new journal, which I should show you too, because that is amazing. If anybody is into tarot and oracle cards, Alana Fairchild is really great. And she created a wonderful journal called the Sacred Rebels journal, which is also, she has a set of cards that I don't have, but now I really want. And the journal itself is full of beautiful color images. It has prompts on the bottom and quotes on the bottom of every page. It's just fabulous, and it really actually brought me to a place to start this shadow work. And I started on April 23rd, and whatever today is, May 2nd, and that journal is already a third of the way full. So I'm trying my very, very best to approach this new moon in a place where I have been doing the work, trying to do the work. And then tomorrow is the new moon, no, today's the 3rd. Yeah, tomorrow's the 4th, new moon, and new moon in Taurus. And we are really going to make sure we set aside our time for our new moon ritual bath, which I'd like to be able to put some of this in, as well as setting our intentions and really getting my voice out into the universe to set the intentions for the next month, next 28 days. Okay, so with that, don't eat the soup. Me gusta la sopa. All right, so we're gonna go back on pause for a few minutes and let this kind of continue on its own path there, and check it out. Thanks. See you. Hi, we're back. Just for another little minute. So got that smelling good, and this is one of the pieces of sage that I took also from tending my neighbor's garden, and I'm really feeling like I need some. So I'm just gonna tear a little piece off there. I don't want to put the whole thing in. It's needed, I think, a little more green essence to it. And what better way to do that than with sage? Perfect. And then we'll put the rest of that in the bottle. All right, so I think that we are about good. What I did is I dropped a couple of hot drops of that goodness right on my inner arm, and have been watching it and smelling along, and I think it's beautiful, and see how it develops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extinguish our flame down there and let this start to cool off all by itself for a little while, so that it doesn't go into the bottle hot. We don't want that, because what will happen is it will condense, and then we'll have water and moisture in there, and we don't want that. We just want the oils and the flower essences, because water, as everyone knows, and oil don't mix. So as well as it will begin to rot. So we want to make sure this is like definitely room temperature, has time to cool before we put it in our bottle. All right, we've been cooling off here. We're not quite there yet. I used my great daffodil snuffer to burn out our candle. And I know what you're thinking. How are you going to get that salt out of there? Well, I'm going to tell you. That's what I'm here to do. So how I'm going to get that salt out of there is I'm going to use some of my moon water in this beautiful decanter. And I'm going to rinse that salt out. Now I have got this great little, again, other people's pottery cool picture that you saw me earlier. Had some dried herbs in, and I poured some some moon water in there. And we're just gonna kind of start to pour that in and swirl it around and rinse it out. And that's kind of it. Ta-da! No more salt in there. And then I'll just leave that open to air out the rest of the way. I should stick it outside because it's so beautiful. Use some in there. Cap too. So there we go. We're rinsed and drying off. I do have a extra moon water in here, so I'm going to take it and pour it straight into a plant. I'm sure they will enjoy it. All right, so we kind of cooled off a little bit there, mostly. And I'm going to put in put the rose quartz in. I'm going to put a couple of garnet chips in there on both bottles. And we're now going to add some amethyst. So this, doesn't it just look divine? I'm so excited. So excited. Oliver's here on my shoulder. Maybe if we're lucky, he'll have something to say to us. He usually always does. I also had kind of forgotten, but not really, that I had just got this beautiful violet plant at Trader Joe's even, and it's blooming, just spectacular blooms right now. And we do have violet in there, and I asked our plant if I could have one of the blossoms and add into the mix. And so I feel very confident that that wish has been granted. And I'm actually not gonna put it in there directly. I'm gonna add it to the bottle. And I'm pretty excited too, because I have had this paper towel sitting here to collect the extra oils that I have been adding in. I'm going to use that towel as sort of a little perfume wipe. Like so. Down you go. And then leftover bit of violet into the big main bottle. Put all of him in there, and her. Everything's masculine today. So the next thing we're going to do is focus on the roller ball, because I want to make sure that we get enough of oils in there and the essences, and the plants and the herbs and all the beautiful things. So I'm going to put in some of these bits if I can get them to go down. No, that did not work. So, oh, I got an idea though. Sit up there and take my funnel and then poke it down in there. See if that'll work. Yes. Excellent. What other colors do we need to see in there? Definitely a piece of sage, a couple of bits of lavender, a couple of bits of rosemary. Make sure they're all represented in our, well, I don't want to get too much in there, so there won't be any room for oils, but that'll be enough. Oh, there's Oliver. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? What else do we need? Do we have a blue bit? We need a... You're funny, Oliver. Did you want a cookie? And then he laughs at himself. He knows how funny that is to be asking for cookies right now. So you'll have cookies later on. Okay, Oliver. Now, I'm just gonna slowly spoon this in to our roller ball bottle. Get my hand over the prize there so you can see what we're doing. Some of those bits are gonna go down inside and some are not. Periodically lift that guy up so that the air, I love you. I love you. I love you. This is what I live with. I get love every day. All right, there we go. So that roller ball now, look at how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about this. So we're gonna set that aside. I'm doing a cookie. And then we're gonna use our same funnel. And let's see what we got in here. What do you need to? A couple of, I'll save these flowers for a bath. Maybe tomorrow, the new moon bath. We'll put all those in there. Oliver, I love you. Oliver would like a kiss. Oliver gets lots of kisses. Kisses and cookies galore. Alright, so we have some of that in now. I'm going to do the same thing we did before, only on this bottle. I love you. I love you. I love you. So, see how we're doing this, and then once I get the oils inside, then I'll poke some of those flowers down in there, and this will be our main bottle. So our beautiful flower bounty, our garden, sort of a cross between our new moon oil, our goddess oil, and Beltane, which is all really great things, and I can use. One-stop shop. Who knows? Signature scent. I'll be anointing myself in this, as well as utilizing it as a perfume roller. Help me throughout the day. Remember what my intentions are, why I made this oil. It is actually quite delicious smelling. I'm so excited. I have this saved to this bottle. Has never seen an oil in it of mine yet. It's been cleansed and consecrated. My intentions have been added to it, as well as my intentions throughout. So, let's see. Here we go. And that's all of it, I think. All I'm gonna be able to muster out of here. We're gonna bottle that up. I want to give it a good shake after I bottle it to activate it. Same with the roller ball. Set that on the altar. Although I'm not very good at waiting. Patience is not one of my strong points. So I've got the corked up there, and I'm gonna give that a good shake. And activate. I don't know if you can see through there. If I move this out of the way, we don't need that anymore. See all those beautiful flowers down in there and everything, all the essences. I've also got a good sized mess going on, but that's okay. Magic is messy sometimes. And just wipe that off. And I'm going to save this piece of paper towel and use it as a little perfume wipe after I get out of the shower today. There we go. So I have recycled, reduce, reuse, all those good things. And I'm gonna give that a shake. Set my intentions in and activate this. Look at that. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. Anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I will add the recipe to the comments down bar. And that's that. I hope everyone has a great new moon tomorrow and has had a wonderful Beltane. And I look forward to getting back in the spirit of things after my period of shadow work here. So there you are. Say bye, Oliver. You can't see him right now, but I do have oil all over my hands. There's Oliver. I love you. I love you. I love you. But you want to have a cookie? Cookie? Anyway, there you go.